from time immemorial, the world did not know God through what? The world did not know God through wisdom. God was pleased to save those who believe through the foolishness of the message preached. All right. For the Jews ask for signs, the Greeks seek wisdom. Yes, let's run. But we preach Christ crucified, a stumbling block to the Jews and foolishness to the Gentiles. Let's run. Yet to those who are called, both Jews and Greeks, Christ is God's power and God's wisdom. All right, let's go. Because God's foolishness is wiser than human wisdom, and God's weakness is stronger than human strength. Let's go. Brothers, consider your calling. Not many are wise from a human perspective. Not many powerful. Not many of noble birth. Instead, God has chosen the worst foolish things to shame the wise. And God has chosen the worst weak things to shame the strong. All right. God has chosen the worst insignificant and despised things, things viewed as nothing, so that he might bring to nothing things that are viewed as something. So he can reduce the mighty and establish the low. Yes, let's go. So that no man or no one can boast in his presence. Okay. Let's go to same 1 Corinthians. Let's read chapter 2. Let's read it from verse 3. Chapter 2, let's read from verse 3. I want to take you through a long reading of the scriptures because I don't know the last time you read Bible. So you have to read it this morning so you can see how sweet the Bible is. I was with you in weakness and fear and in much trembling. All right, verse 4, let's go. My speech and my proclamation were not with persuasive words of wisdom, but with a demonstration of the Spirit and power. All right. So that your faith may not be based on men's what? That your faith will not be based on what? Man's wisdom. But on what? On what? Your faith should not be based on what? Man's wisdom. But on God's. All right, let's go. However, among the mature, we do speak a wisdom, but not a wisdom of this age, or of the rulers of this age, who are coming to nothing. Verse 7. On the contrary, we speak God's hidden wisdom in a mystery, which God predestinated before the ages for our glory. All right. None of the rulers of this age knew it, for if they had known it, they would not have crucified the Lord of glory. All right. But as it is written, what no eye had seen, no ear has heard, and what has never come into a man's heart is what God has prepared for those who love him. Verse 10. Now God has revealed them to us by the Spirit, for the Spirit searches everything, even the deep things of God. All right. For who among men knows the concerns of a man except the spirit of the man that is in him? The same way, no one knows the concerns of God except the Spirit of God. All right. Now we have not received the spirit of the world, but the Spirit who is from God, in order to know what has been freely given to us by God. We also speak these things, not in words taught by human wisdom, but in those taught by the Spirit, explaining spiritual things to what? Say it again. Explaining spiritual things to what? Now let me say this as I continue to begin to explain. Any lem get preach it. Any learn on a Bible. Any lem get preach it. Meanwhile, more chineke or didn't he go out? Again. Any them get preach. Any them get preach. Mammo chineke big in me. Ogana dragi kangem nase. Rika parados prehita hadiato. Ade hiwatara. Elo to shi dagen ante. Akwabira pukum 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 pukum. Any them get preach. if you don't have the Spirit of God, you will understand nothing. Because you see, we are in a time where men are trusting experts. Those who speak from the wisdom of the world. When a miracle happens or God does something, somebody will put light and position a seat. How can a pastor say he was praying in the bathroom and he came out of the bathroom? He was in another country. By the time he came out, he saw himself in another country. These pastors are making a jest of us. The pastors are Chenai Wumumu. How can a pastor tell you, Oruna January, Nagi were salary get a charahuya, so ye as first fruit? The pastor wonder why you. On a singing ye tight, in a year tight for Guinea, the pastor saw one day why you. Oh, beginning my fasting and prayer in January. I'll give you business again, body here. Bambo, Bashie Yike. Sir, the wisdom of this world is not the same with our wisdom. I wish I'm talking to people now. I wish I'm talking to people now. Sir, the wisdom of the earth and our wisdom are not. They are not. Their wisdom are based on our works. They labor to produce result. In the kingdom, our wisdom is based on Christ. Sir, that's why what we enjoy in the kingdom is called favor. It's not labor. It's called what? It's called what? It's called what? Sir, if you operate on the natural laws of life, you will never enjoy supernatural assistance. I wish I'm talking to somebody now. Sir, the biggest enemy you have to fight in 2025 is not your uncle in the village. The biggest Satan you have to fight is your common sense. It's your what? No, I didn't hear you. Say it again. Say it one more time. It is steadily fighting against the manifestation of God. Why will you not build a house? Because common sense tells you you don't have money to build it. Common sense tells you the amount you have in the bank. Common sense tells you because why? Common sense tells you what is good and what is. And as long as you operate on common sense, you will never achieve anything. I wish I'm talking to people. No. I wish I'm talking to people right now. I wish I'm talking. Is anybody hearing what I'm saying? The people of God are not products of common sense. We function by the strength and the wisdom from above. And what is that wisdom? Looking unto Jesus, the author and the finisher of our faith. Sir, everything you will achieve this year, who will achieve it? No, I'm asking you, who will achieve it? Who will achieve it? Your salary, your connections. Who will achieve it? If you need to build a house, who will build it? Looking unto Jesus. In church, we don't look at any other thing. The whole of our faith is not based on the wisdoms of life. They are based on the power of God, on what God is able to do. Will you build a house this year? How will you build it? By who? By the wisdom of men? By your salary? By your bank account? By who? By who? That's why Jesus told Nicodemus in John 3. He said, the man of the spirit is like a wind that bloweth. No man know where the direction he goeth. You only perceive it, but you don't know where it's coming from. That's why it is possible to come to church as a nobody today. Next Sunday, you return as a millionaire. It is possible to come to church as a non-entity, and as you are leaving church, you are a millionaire. Why? In the kingdom, there are no protocols. This is not a marketplace. This is not company where you work and they promote you. Here, in a twinkle of an eye, your story can turn around. What turns your story around is not your contact, it's not your wisdom, it is the power. Once the power hits you, your life turns around. I wish I'm talking to church now. Is anybody hearing what I am preaching? Is anybody hearing what I'm preaching? A man, the name of this man is Saul. His father told him to go and look for sheep that was missing. He was going from city to city looking for a lost sheep. When he didn't find the sheep, he met a prophet. As soon as he finished speaking to the prophet, leaving the prophet, he became king. He became what? He became king. From looking for Aturu Furefu, the next minute, the prophet anointed him as king over Israel. Can you explain it? Can you explain it? No, explain it for me. How can you explain it? This is, you see, it's a generation where people now come and they put a light. They store in Facebook to explain God to us. They want us to understand God with natural senses. They don't want to teach us God. People who don't read Bible, who don't know God, because they think that their natural wisdom explains God. So they position and they begin to talk. And they are talking human wisdom. So that when you listen to them from the human perspective, you say, only make sense. Only make sense. Or make sense. Because he's speaking from the human perspective. When you have only one car, when you have only one car, that God is not a good God. Any like this, get say, Pastor Narawanya moto ya. Ngoma kwani have the only car wanya nwere. Chineke all your co. Nagane mebi okwu Chineke aha Chineke. What would you have said about Elijah and the widow of Zarephath? If it was in our days, Elijah got to the widow of Zarephath. Yeah, see, I have only a flaw. I'm preparing for my child and I, and there is famine all over the land. And that widow want to go ya neighbor ya. Neighbor ya got we and the no Facebook. Audio to onya job. Chọrọ nwaanyị isi mkpe. Nwaanyị di ya nwụrụ anwụ. Gakuru ya si Chineke si ya. Ndị ọjọọ na-eji aha Chineke na-emebishi ya. Nwaanyị agwakwu ya si na nna anyị ukwu na ya legodin na ọdịdị nri o nwere na otu nri fọrọ ya na obere nwa ya. Onye amụma a na-enweghị obi mmadụ. Ya hụkwa obere nwa ya. Hụ obere nwa ahụ. Nwa obi si ya na ya wetara ya nri ya. Chai! Gị nụ ya na Facebook gị dewe. Wicked prophets. God will punish you. It pleased God that by the wisdom of this world, that men will not know him. It pleased God. You don't know God by your natural senses. Sir, God can only be found by his spirit. By his word. Outside the spirit of God, you don't know anything. Because only the spirit of a man searches the man. How can a man who does not have God's spirit interpret God to you? Church. I wish I'm talking to somebody. Is anybody hearing what I am preaching? If you are sick, you don't need church. Go to hospital. Even your pastors go to a hospital. Even the biggest of the pastors have doctors by their side. Why will you go to church when you are sick, when there are hospitals? What do you say? Does it not make sense? It makes sense. It makes sense. People don't die in the hospital. Even the doctors don't die. Whatever the doctors like, let them do. Jesus is the healer. Sir, any day, any time, the manufacturer of a product is the best person that can fix the product. Who manufactured the body? So all the devil does is he wants you to live by the wisdom of the world. He wants you to live by the wisdom of the world. I wish I'm preaching to a church now. I wish. Why do you need to pray and fast? Or do January give them away? What is the prayer and fasting for? For what? For what? Church, this year, I'm trusting God for things that you can't help me. You can't what? I'm telling you the honest truth. You yourself, you are trusting God for things I cannot what? Our dreams are different. There is only one helper that can help all of us. Who is he? You, this year, I want to build a mansion that has 30 rooms. How many rooms did I say? If you like, get angry. If you like, do what? Get angry. I want to build a mansion that has, if you get angry, I increase to 64 rooms. What I'm building is a hotel, but it's a residential house. The other day I was telling my wife, and she said, why do you need to build that? I said, if you talk again, every time you get angry, I add 5 rooms to it. You get angry, I add 5 rooms to it. Sir, I'm telling you my own dream now. You are busy laughing there. Some of you are believing God for what? Supernatural help. Some of you want to travel overseas this year. Some of you want to do something that is extraordinary. Some of you want your businesses to go international. Some of you are believing God for things that man cannot help you. Sir, and that's why you have come to church, to seek God. Now the year has started. You have started saving. I'm going to build a duplex, 4-bedroom duplex this year. This year. The Allah is 50 million. Every month, 500,000. Before I find out, go. Save there. Now, see the difference between you and I. I start my year by asking God, what do you want me to do for you? Now, because of what I know I am believing God for the things I want God to do for me, I am not relying on the pocket of any man. As we enter the year, I said to my wife, we begin by sacrifice. We begin by what? We begin by what? And we decided all that we have left as we enter the new year, we are giving it to God. Everything we have left as we came into the new year, we will do what? We will surrender it to God. Every Sunday you come to church, you will see something new. Now you have seen new screens. By next Sunday you will come, you will see something new. Every every time you come, we will see something new till we get to Goshen. Now, we are not asking you to pay for it. Everything you have seen, we have paid. What are we doing? We are making sacrifice. Where are we making sacrifice? For supernatural assistance. So that God will give it to us. Along the line, God honors us. He said, the pastor. I'm sure no church can the pastor name. The year has started. How you begin the year will determine how the year will run for you. I begin by seeking God. By making sacrifices to God. Why you begin the year by your own planning. You are planning, you are careful. You don't want to do this, you don't want to do that. So that the year, it won't hold you here or you won't hold you. But I have thrown myself to the wind and have said to God, I don't know where else help will come from. My whole faith is on you. Lord, by next week, as we enter, this week, we'll change the entire rocks in the church. By the time you come next Sunday, you would have seen new rocks in the church. We have paid for new speakers, linearies, that will be installed in the church. Only that took us a total of about 12 million. Only the speakers. Only the speakers. I don't want to tell you the prices of other ones. I'm just working a speaker. Sir, and nobody says, bring the money. We are not raising an offering. We are making the sacrifice. Lord, we want your house to look like the kind of house you want you to give to us. Lord, what we are looking for, our strength can't do it. We rather give you the little we have so that you can give us what we want. Sir, 20 million cannot build the house we are looking for. Can't even finish the foundation. Sir, instead of struggling and laboring, saving and hoping when another one will come, so that the maggots, the centipedes will not eat it, we surrender to God. So that he can help us in his own strength. No, that is not natural wisdom. Is that natural wisdom? What is natural wisdom? Save it. Save it. You went to get here. You went to get here. That's what you did last year, or didn't even achieve. That's what you did 2 years ago, or didn't even achieve. 3 years ago, or didn't even achieve. Can't be in a head till I'm by might shall no man, prevail. Sir, look at me. You cannot, the race is not to the strong. The battle is not to the swift. It is God that helps man. It is not of him that willeth, not of him that runneth. It's of God that showeth mercy. Sir, since you have decided to help yourself, how far have you gone? How far have you pushed yourself? You call us foolish people. You say we don't know what to do with money. We are giving it to God. We don't. But look at our life and look at your own life. You will see that truly those who put their trust in the Lord can never be put to what? Can never be put to what? So how do you lay the foundation of the year? How do you begin the year? The Bible says in the multitude of many words and many vanities. If you go to 2 Corinthians chapter 3, Dan, he said the wisdom of the wise is vain, is full of vanities. Men who trust in the wisdom